The premiere episodes of Mr. Terrific and Captain Nice gave us a pretty good idea of what we were in for. Lots of juvenile gags coupled with stereotypes of the shy little guy who lives with the hot ladies man would characterize Mr. Terrific, while Captain Nice would have lots of recycled get smart jokes plus some decent setups that fall flat at the punchline. Oh, and the stereotype shy guy who has the cute girl pursuing him and doesn't know what to do about it. With those definitely not excessive standards in place, it was time to get rolling. We open in Reed's office as Trent comes in. Reed shows him a newspaper headline: a murderer that Trent put away 3 years ago has escaped. When he was sentenced to life, he told Trent that someday he would escape and kill him. Reed says, "I'm sure it's all just talk."
Special Projects, Reed speaking. Just a moment. For you, Holly. Yes?
Mr. Trent, I'm sure you won't recognize my voice after all these years.
But this is an old friend of yours, Hermann J. von Brock.
Isn't it an amazing irony that he would call just as Reed was saying that? What an interesting device. Writers should use it more often. Brock says he's been strengthening his hands for the past 3 years so he can strangle Trent with them. Reed says there's only one thing to do: assign Mr. Terrific to guard him day and night.
Holly, if I were to tell you that I knew instinctively that the one person in the world who could save you from certain death would be Stanley Beamish, what would you say?
That there are some things worse than death.
The next 15 minutes or so is one of those things. Nothing happens! We get a series of odd couple type gags as Harley and Stanley try to live together, and that's pretty much it. They start out at Trent's place, and we do get to watch them get there like this.
Order or no order, I will not. I simply refuse to fly home.
Von Brock finds out where Trent lives and lets him know it, so they move to Stanley's place.
Oh, hi, Stan. What are you doing home?
Something tells me we picked an awkward moment to arrive.
Couldn't be helped.
Hi, Hal. Excuse us. You remember Mr. Reed and Mr. Trent? They're the two government men who were after that syndicate boss I happened to see.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, Stan, this is Carol.
Hi.
How do you do? I think I'd better be going.
No, Carol, I'll take you
That
home.
won't be necessary, Hal.
Stan, how could you?
I'm sorry, Hal. But you see, Mr. Trent needed a place to hide. There's an escaped murderer after him. It's a matter of life and death.
I know it is. That's why you should have called. Carol, wait for me! Carol!
Next day, Trent has a bad case of cabin fever, so he and Reed put on overalls and become gas station attendants. Because what could possibly go wrong?
Yes, sir. May I help you, sir? Little gas, oil, lube job, whatever, please. Von Brock.
Where's Holly? Well, he was servicing a green car. I wonder where he went.
Green car, did you say? Unless I miss my guess, poor Harley's in the hands of Von Brock this very moment.
Well, he's in danger of being killed. We have to fly to his rescue.
Oh, no flying. I don't fly. No, indeed. I get airsick when I fly.
We managed to do the gag with both of them. Mission accomplished. They find the car and discover that Von Brock has changed his mind about strangling Trent.
Haircut, Mr. Trent.
They land and Stanley races to the rescue.
Oh, no, you don't.
Out of my way. I kill you too.
Good boy, Stanley.
This isn't as easy as it looks. Mr. Reed, my power's going off.
Stanley, watch out!
My mistake. Those booster pills should be 11 minutes because he always seems to run out of power just about a minute too soon. Over in Big Town, the Sheik of Rub-a-Dub-Dub or something like that is visiting the city to do a bunch of shopping. Everybody in town is bowing down to kiss his feet because they know he plans to spend millions of dollars here, and money is the only thing that matters. As you can see, not everybody agrees. That guy's trying to drop a big concrete thing on the Sheik's head. Carter sees it and tries to warn someone, but as usual, nobody listens to him. It's time for Captain Nice to intervene. We actually get to watch Carter hang up his coat twice in this episode. 2 for the price of 1. What a deal.
750,000 barrels a night.
Watch out! There's a would-be killer up there.
Someone get the police! You're the police! I certainly got here fast.
They lifted that "you are the police" gag straight from Batman. I remember commenting on it when Chief O'Hara said it. It's a good enough joke that repeating it isn't necessarily bad, but this show just can't leave it there. They have to push the joke further into lame territory with the "I certainly got here fast" line, which just isn't funny. And the reason it's not funny is because we know nothing about this police chief. We don't know if he's a clone of O'Hara or if he's halfway efficient. He hasn't been established at all. I suppose lines like that could be an attempt to establish what he's like, but it doesn't work. The assassin gets away, Sergeant Kane is assigned to protect the Sheik, and he immediately decides he wants to make her his 120th wife. If he has that many wives, why is he traveling around America on shopping trips?
I know how to marry them. Nobody knows how to live with them.
But if he's on a shopping trip, shouldn't they be with him? I'm sure they'd be delighted to help relieve him of some of his excess cash. Needless to say, Kane declines and says she belongs to Carter. Now, the Sheik is known as a vicious, bloodthirsty despot whose own people hate his guts, and Candy didn't think about that before she dropped Carter's name. Carter's in the mayor's, his uncle's, office explaining what kind of man the Sheik is when his mother barges in and asks why neither her brother nor her son has offered to introduce her to a real Sheik. They decide to have a dinner party at her house so she can be the envy of all her friends. The Sheik says, "Now let me return the favor." He tells Carter he can have his pick of these girls and offers to trade one for Sergeant Kane. Carter, of course, declines, so the Sheik has to come up with a different plan. Kill him. His henchman injects Carter's bagel with yappa, a near undetectable poison that mimics a heart attack. At the table, the Sheik calls his taster. They discuss the fact that the taster must be awfully hungry since he's forced to live on 2 bites of food. You can guess what happens next.
I really shouldn't.
Delicious, isn't it? Mother bakes them herself. I know, I always react that way to Mother's cooking.
An assassin.
Everybody assumes the poison was meant for the Sheik and the assassin bungled it, but Carter knows it was meant for him so the Sheik can get his hands on Sergeant Kane. Everybody heads back to the Sheik's hotel suite and Carter decides to follow.
Sergeant Kane, I have a surprise for you. Oh! Close your eyes.
Oh, my poor little girl. You're frightened and unhappy. Well, wait till we get back to my homeland. You'll like it there, you'll see. And as the years go by, we shall grow closer together as love, trust, and understanding blossom between us. And when that day comes, my dear, I promise I'll let you out of the sack.
Just then, Carter arrives and hears what's going on. Captain Nice to the rescue.
Hold it! Put down that sack.
Get away from that door. I'll cut this sack to shreds.
So far, this is Captain Nice, your victim for tonight.
Excuse my gloves.
So far, you know what to do. If he gives you any trouble at all, reduce him to a memory. If he behaves himself, kill him.
We waste some time with the mock David and Goliath bit while the Sheik gets down to street level with Sergeant Kane.
Sheik, look out!
Captain Nice comes down, frees Sergeant Kane, and we wrap things up.
You're under arrest.
For what?
For murder, assault, and attempted kidnapping.
You arrest people for that?
This is a democracy, Mr. Ibid. We can arrest people for practically anything.
Okay, that was good. Whereas in Mr. Terrific basically nothing happened, this episode was loaded. In amongst the stupid jokes, we actually killed 2 people. In fact, if you were to cut out the jokes that don't work, this would be a decent episode and the show might have had possibilities. It's too bad they didn't have the luxury of stopping and thinking about things like that, because as it stands, the show still feels slapped together with baling wire and duct tape. Really, both shows do. But at least with this episode there was something happening. That was a step up from the previous half hour. So that's something, I guess. I don't know what, but something. Until next time.